Hello, everyone. This is April Showers with Miss Lady of Leisure. I am going to share the show. That way, Lady of Leisure will give you an update on the stimulus.
Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's having a great, safe day. I've got to stop watching television. I've been watching the news, and they're just really getting on my nerves with this stimulus. People are getting a check. They're not getting a check. We don't know if they're getting a check. It's just so crazy because they could have done this months ago. So, the latest, as it stands, they are trying to push through a $600 check for some people, not everyone. But that even isn't written in stone. Now, the government shut down all of the previous, financial help ends tonight at midnight. So they have to pass a bill by tonight. And the thing with the stimulus checks is that because they have to prevent the government from shutting down by midnight tonight, everyone has leverage now in this bill. So everybody's trying to use what they can, you know, they're trying to get what they can get attached to this bill because they have to keep the government from shutting down. However, it's really not looking like they're going to be able to pass a stimulus package by tonight at midnight. So, what I think, and this is just my opinion, what I think they will end up doing is probably sponsoring a stopgap bill that will keep the government open and running for at least a week or a couple of days. That way, they disable the people with power to push through a stimulus package. So, we'll see what happens, guys. It amazes me that before they went on the first break, they were entertaining $2.2 trillion in stimulus. Nancy Pelosi wanted $2.2 trillion. She wanted $1,200 payments for illegal aliens. 2.2 trillion was the number, okay? The Republicans came down to 1.6 trillion. Nancy Pelosi said no, it's not enough because it doesn't include anything for the illegal aliens and it doesn't say exactly how all of the money is going to be spent. So she turns down $1.6 trillion, saying it was a horrible deal for the American people, but yet she's on board with a $900 billion stimulus package. Go figure. Bottom line, I think, again, left wing, right wing, both wings of the same bird, all full of BS. So I hope anyone is not banking on this little stimulus check because we may or may not get one. Who knows? I'm really looking forward to today's show. Um, April had posted a question yesterday to the audience members, and she asked, what would you like to see happen in Robert Sylvester Kelly's case? So, hi, Ebony.
Hey, Ebony. Yeah, this is April Showers, and I want to make this 100% clear. I am for Robert Sylvester Kelly. I feel as though he is a victim. I do not argue with folks about how they feel about him. I respect everybody's opinions and their viewpoints. And that's all that I can say. And, I'm behind him 100%. So I just want to get that clear. And um, my co host, we agree on some things, but we disagree on the majority of things. But we still have respect for each other and how we feel about this case. And so we just want people to be respectful. And also, this is a way for people to know how the jury is going to be thinking. So if you can maybe learn something and try to put a spin on the way people think about this case, the way they feel about Rob. So it's good to know what the opposition is thinking and how the prosecution is going to attack this case. So that's all I wanted to say. And
I
so,
just, I'm
did
sorry.
did you want to answer the question on what did you want to see or?
I thought about that, and it's really, it's very difficult for me because, listen, bottom line is this: I believe that Robert is guilty. I believe that he should spend time in prison. I don't believe that he should spend the rest of his life in prison. I also believe he's a victim. Um, I believe that. I believe he's been victimized his entire life. But that doesn't at all sway my opinion or my belief of his guilt to an extent. It doesn't sway that. I don't believe that you have to be hard line one way or the other. I mean, I know many people are, you know, there are people who believe in his innocence, and that's fine. That's your right. There are people who believe in his guilt, and, again, they take a very hard line. For me, it's more than innocence and guilt. You know, this is a man who himself was sexually molested as a child. This is a man who's said to be born of incest. You know, this is a man who has some extent of mental disability. So it's not that black and white to me. Because when you've been, if dysfunction is all that you've known your entire life, regardless of your circumstances, if that's all you've known, and couple that with the physical and mental defects of being born to incest, I don't see how, without professional help, that he's completely responsible. Because if all you know is dysfunction, and if you have some type of, I don't know, uh, mental incapabilities or whatever it is, because you're a child of incest, how do you come out of that? And let's just, because we don't know for a fact that he's a child of incest. It's been rumored here in Chicago for decades. His brothers have said that was the case. Well, at least one of his brothers has said that was the case. But even if we remove that, just the fact that we know he has the mental disability to an extent, we know that the life that he came from, we know he was a child of molestation. How do you get beyond that when that is all that you know? Without help, if dysfunction is all you know and everyone around you is willing to be dysfunctional with you, does he really know what the hell normal is? I don't know that he knows what normal is. Because when you grow up that way, and when that's all you know, and that's basically what you surround yourself with, and it's all you see, then that is normal to you.
We just started. Respect my opinion.
Hello, respect my opinion. Yeah, we just started,
Okay.
but I'll back up just a little bit.
Back up.
I'll bottom line it.
Okay.
I was answering the question that April posed to us all yesterday, where, what we want from this case. And what I said was that I wanted Robert to go to prison, but I don't believe that he should be in prison for the rest of his life. I was also saying that I believe he has, um, mental disabilities. I believe that he grew up in total, absolute dysfunction. And I'm just wondering, how do you come from a life of dysfunction and behave normally, regardless of, you know, his celebrity, his money, regardless of any of that? How do you come from total dysfunction and behave like a normal person? And my question that I often ask myself when thinking about him in this case, does Robert Sylvester Kelly know what normal is? Does he even know what that is?
I
So
don't think he does.
I can't just throw him away because I believe there is something there to be salvaged with the proper treatment. So I would like to see him go to prison. I would like to see him get intense professional help. And I would like to see where, what that would lead to with him. I don't believe Ebony Wright. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Ebony Wright says Kels has a big heart. I agree with that. I really do. But
He's a beautiful man. He is.
people people are multifaceted. You know, you may only see one side of a person. That doesn't mean that's the only side there is to that person. I agree that he has a big heart. As I was saying yesterday, I know strangers' funerals he's paid for, kids who were killed in this violence here in Chicago. You know, I know people's rent he's paid, people he's kept from being evicted. People's phone bills he's paid for damn years. You know what I'm saying? So I absolutely agree that he has a big heart, but he also has a problem. You know, him I think that Robert has a sickness. I don't know if it is exasperated by him being a product of incest. I don't know. But I think that's something that really needs to be looked into because we know that children born to incest, especially closely related as his own grandfather, we know that has mental and physical abnormalities that come along with that. Respect my opinion. Shut up. Respect my opinion says Rob has multiple personalities. Respect my opinion. April and I have discussed this on many occasions. I believe that as well. I believe that as well. And I don't know if it has to do with the musical genius because I've known, like really known, some musical geniuses that suffer from multiple personality disorder. And I think that, true musical genius, and Robert is one. You cannot take away his musical talent and abilities and genius. You can't. I don't care what the man does, you can't take that away. But I find, just me personally, from the people that I really knew, I think there is a connection with mental illness and musical genius. I really do. Um, and they get away with it because of their musical genius, because they can filter those personalities in different creative outlets. Because, if you think about genius, what makes a person a genius? Whatever that is, it's abnormal. Because if you were normal, you wouldn't be a genius. So there's an I'm sorry. There's an abnormality in my mind connected with a genius and mental illness. Because I don't know any geniuses that were not mentally ill. But I've known two, I mean, very personal, close friends of mine, two musical geniuses who both suffered from multiple personality disorder. So I think there's a correlation there. Um, but again, a lot of children who've suffered sexual abuse also develop multiple personality in order to protect themselves from the trauma. So, that's kind of common with kids who have been either sexually abused or physically abused or both. You know, they create other personalities to protect them, from the trauma. It's all very interesting to me. And Rob has so many different things going on, you know, the sexual abuse, uh, the incest. His sister sexually abused him. His grandfather is allegedly his father. There's so much going on with him that his behavior could be caused by any number, of those traumatizing events. It's just, when looking at, and then, you have those people that are victims that victimize. Is that what he does? Or is it just that he's been in such a world of dysfunction that dysfunction is his norm? I think it's very interesting, and I think it really needs to be looked at, you know, by the criminal justice system, by society.
I want to say something. I've only saw one
I'm sorry,
personality.
Ebony, what is that again? I don't think you do have multiple personalities.
Okay. Well, I did. I only saw one personality of his, but when I did research on Van Gogh and all of these geniuses, they did.
They were insane.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were insane.
yeah. And so I, maybe sometimes, their brain, you know, I mean, they're so smart, they're geniuses. Yeah, but I personally feel that Rob is a um a victim. Now, respect my opinion. You said Rob has multiple personalities. Um, so I guess maybe you've experienced that. So I guess you would know. Uh, yeah. So
Ebony Rice says she doesn't think that he has different personalities.
yeah,
I don't know. I did not know him personally.
yeah,
Like I said, I've been in several settings with him, parties he was at, things like that. Uh, but I was not a friend. I did not know him personally.
yeah.
So I don't know if he suffered from multiple personality disorder. But I do know two people that do. Um, and again, it's so easy for them to cover when they are creative geniuses.
Okay. Well, yeah, because all of this stuff that they're saying that he's done, I can't believe it. So for them to be saying he did this, he treated people, he pinned them to walls and all this stuff. And if this is true, and if this is going to come out in the trials, then I guess I would say he has different personalities. Um. Oh, okay.
Exactly, respect my opinion.
Well,
Exactly.
you guys are
There is a pattern.
Oh,
And that's what and that's what I was trying to get to yesterday when we were talking about Peter Nygaard and his trafficking and racketeering charges. There is a pattern, in cult behavior. There's a pattern.
okay.
It's just like any other pattern. You
Yeah,
know, there's a pattern, and normally they all follow the same pattern.
yeah. I mean, I guess once the trial starts and I see all of this stuff, I guess I will have to take into consideration if this is the evidence that they allege they have. Again, a trial has not started. So I'm going with Rob being a man that I love and a nice guy helping people. And again, it's hard for me to see him being this monster that everybody says he is. But if I have to accept it once the trial starts, and if they can prove all of this, they still have to prove it. But until then, I'm going to say he is a victim. So,
Well, him, listen, one does not negate the other.
okay.
You understand? He can be a victim and he can be a predator. One doesn't negate the other. He can be a great guy and mentally ill. You understand what I'm saying? You don't, again, nobody is one way. No human being is one way. Everyone has different aspects of themselves. Your children know you as their parent. They don't know you as a wife or husband. They know you as their mom or their dad. Your co-workers know you as a co-worker. They don't know what you're like at home. They don't know what you like in the street. Everyone has, people are multifaceted. So he can be an absolutely wonderful, respectful man and still be mentally ill with multiple personalities. And listen, being mentally ill does not make you a monster. Being sick does not make you a monster. It just makes you sick. You know, um, good people can carry out bad deeds, and vice versa. People that you think are bad can carry out good deeds. I think I've said this before on this show. Some of the murderers I know are just the greatest damn people, but they're murderers, you know. But they're the kind of people that they're gonna show up for you. They got your back, they're funny, they're caring, but they're murderers. You know, but we have to get this, I don't know, this misconception, this stigma, whatever it is that we have regarding mental illness. We have to try to remove that from our minds, because you would not treat anyone if he had a brain tumor. Look, I'm going into TV now. But if he had if he had a brain tumor that caused him to do these things, you wouldn't think of him as a monster.
Okay. So, but like I said too, I'm trying to give people idea also on once he goes to trial, how potential jurors are going to think. So with this being said, I'm looking at what Respect My Opinion and Lady of Leisure have said, that they look at his history and the alleged accuser stories, and they say that he has a pattern. So, take heed um to what these people are saying, because this is how potential jurors are going to be thinking, audience. And that's what they're going to look at his history, alleged accuser stories, and they're going to say there is a pattern. Am I right with saying that?
Yeah, I mean, just even let's not even get to the jury.
Yeah.
Even with just the
And
charges,
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
even
what
even
I'm
with
trying to
just
do
the
is,
charges,
yeah,
the prosecution came in and said, "Hey, there is a
hey,
pattern."
nobody's fool. Ebony, respect my opinion. Okay, I'm sorry, Lady Alicia. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Okay.
I was just saying, even before, even without looking at the jurors, just looking at the prosecution, looking at the charges. They came in with those charges and they showed a pattern. They showed a history. Exactly. Respect My Opinion says the government must prove Rob has predatory behavior that led to criminal behavior. Correct. Which is why they brought Aaliyah into the case. They can go back and people are, why did they go way back? That's why they went way back. Because they have to prove, in order to bring the charges that they brought, the RICO, okay, there has to be a preceding act. So they brought Aaliyah to start the timeline of the pattern. So, yeah, everyone is going to be looking at a pattern. The jury, the judge, everyone. And, again, whether you believe in his innocence or not, you have to be aware of what the people who are going to be judging him and the people who are going to be prosecuting him are looking at, are trying to prove. You can't say everybody was lying, he's innocent, I'm shutting my eyes. That doesn't help him. It surely doesn't help a potential juror. Because, if you want to change public opinion, you have to open up their minds and give them a different thought. You can't just say he's innocent, everybody's lying, believe me, because that, I mean, it's not logical. And
So what would you think? Like for me, I'm trying to change public opinion. You're the op, but um, I mean, I'm saying he's a victim. I want people to look at him as a victim. Um,
listen, I believe he is a victim. But again, one does not negate the other.
okay.
I believe that he is a victim. And yes, if you're going to change public opinion, then that him being a victim, him being a product of incest, his mental disabilities, you know, his childhood sexual abuse, all of that should be in the forefront. Harrietta Wells said, honestly, the jurors are going to discuss what is presented in court in those chambers. They will see the evidence for themselves. Yeah, absolutely. And you don't think that they're going to be discussing the charges that the government has brought against him? Of course they are. It's why they're there. It's hard to change the public opinion when it's been the same opinion since the early 2000s. It's not hard to change public opinion. You know, information changes everything. Information changes everything. I've had a very hard line on some of my views and some of my opinions, but I can hear someone else's and I can think, wow, I never thought of it that way. And that will change my entire viewpoint as to how I look at a situation. Now I have something else other than what I believe to consider. And that's all you want to do is give people something else to consider. And that's not hard to do. Of course, if all they've heard is he married Aaliyah, he liked young girls, he did this, he did that. If that's all they've heard, that's all they know. But when you give them other information, now they know that too. You know, when you talk about some of the things that he wrote in his book, you know, when you talk about his brother sitting on Tasha K saying, yeah, you know, we it was said our granddaddy is his daddy. You know, when you talk about his sister molesting him and his brother and the man down the street violating him as a child, then people get to know that as well. You know, nothing of value is easy. Nothing of value comes easy. So, yeah, it may be hard, but it can be done. And, you know, the thing is to, you know, if you, I hear a lot of his supporters, and they all say basically the same thing. And, you know, the focus, in my opinion, is too much on the girls in this case. If you want to help Rob, you need to talk about Rob. Exactly. Respect my opinion. I've said that. April and I have said that many times. I've said that to April many times. All you need is one
One
juror, just
juror.
one.
One juror.
It only takes one.
Yeah.
Harriet Wells says, hearing this helps to understand as to why the rallies supporting him have failed. It was the way they presented the information. Yeah, yeah, you know, you have to, you know, that where's the Paris and all that crap. That's it's ineffective. It's ineffective. So, you know, if you want to be effective, then you have to give people information that they may not know. You know, they've heard where's the parents since this case started.
Well, the
What?
parents should be right along in jail with him because I feel like they enabled him. Like
Well,
I said,
if that's the case, then all his enablers need to be in
all
jail
of
because he
he
had
had
many.
many of them.
But
But then,
the bottom line is,
all of them have
see,
turned against him. And they're testifying against him now.
they are testifying against him now. But again, that is a narrative that's not going to get people to listen to you. Because what I think, and what many people that I know think, when you say, oh, the parents should be in jail too, why? They didn't rape their children. Why should they be in jail? You know, you really have to step back from things like that if you really want to help him. You got to stop that. You all have to stop putting blame elsewhere because it looks to the public at large that this man has done these things for decades, has gotten away with it, has not accepted responsibility for any of it, is still not accepting responsibility for any of it. And you saying things like that, it further perpetuates him not being held responsible. People don't want to hear that. The only people who want to hear that are his supporters. Well, his supporters don't need their minds changed. It's the people who do not support him that, needs a revelation, that needs information that they can look at and take into consideration other than the information that they have. So, things like that, that does not help him. The entire focus, if you really want to change opinions, should simply be on his mental disability, his childhood sexual abuse, his possibility of being a child of incest. That's all it should be about. Because the bottom line is, it does not matter what you say about the parents. It does not matter what you say about the girls. The case is there. The girls are victims and witnesses. The parents will more than likely be witnesses as well. So talking about them isn't going to change any of that. It has not got one charge dropped. It has not got one motion to be released granted. Harrietta Wells says, also, one must note that their opinions are going to be challenged. Whose opinions are going to be challenged? Whose opinions are going to be
I
challenged?
think she might be talking about the supporters' opinions. Or any,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm assuming. Yeah.
And if that's what you meant, you're absolutely right. So instead of giving information or reaching someone with information, now you're getting into an argument. You're in a back and forth, and everyone is defending their position. So when everyone is on the defense, you get nowhere.
Well, I'm on the defense that he was a victim.
Whether you're a supporter or anti supporter, your opinion will be challenged. Absolutely. Absolutely. But challenging an opinion doesn't mean that someone doesn't hear your view or doesn't take your view into consideration if it's a logical view. If you're coming at me with conspiracy theories and, YouTube videos, and I'm not trying to hear that crap. I'm not even going to challenge it because in my mind, it's absolutely illogical. So why would I entertain something that's illogical to me? But if you come to me with something that I can consider, we can challenge each other all day. That doesn't mean I haven't considered your viewpoints and vice versa.
Well, my focus is I'm focusing on Rob being a victim. I wish everybody else would um, take that focus because if they have, yeah. Oh, thank you, Harriet. You know um, we appreciate it. Like I said, we are oppositions, but you know I, all of this stuff is new to me. What they're telling me about him, but I'm also um, I've got to prepare.
Harry Wells says, what is R. Kelly a victim of and how it will play out in his situation? Well, first of all, he's a victim of sexual abuse as a child. You know,
Yeah, he
he's
was
a victim,
violated by the neighbor.
exactly, being sexually abused by a grown man as a child, being sexually abused by his own sister as a child, allegedly being the child of his own maternal grandfather.
Yeah,
You know, so yeah, he's a victim of nobody as
and
a
nobody
child,
protected
as a
him.
teenager, no protection, no one got him help. So again, if everyone in your world as a child, if your mom, your brothers, your sisters, if everyone wronged you or failed to protect you, how do you then grow up and do what's normal? Because it's all been dysfunctional. How do you really know what's right and what's wrong? How do you know?
Yeah,
I respect my opinion. Said allegedly his sister could possibly be called to testify on his behalf. I hope. I can't even say nothing. Maybe it's one of the fake sisters. I don't know, but I don't know, and I really don't like to speak on his family because that's his family.
yeah,
Regardless of what, that's his family.
yeah. I don't get into the family mess neither with the brothers and stuff. I'm like, hey, that's his family, them his brothers. I didn't grow up in that house. I'm
Exactly.
not dissing them, but I mean, I don't know them people. You know, I didn't know them. Yeah,
Harriet Wells says, I can understand from a mental status point of view in regards to childhood trauma. Yes. And not only that, what if he is a product of incest? What if what his brother said was absolutely true? What if his grandfather is his father? You don't think that plays in that some type of way, either genetically? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
But again, I think that it's something that really should be investigated.
yeah. And I want to say my opinion that I was saying. I would like Rob to go get treatment, intense treatment. Um, and so, like I said, his normal was not our normal growing up.
Harriet Wells, I'm sorry, Harriet Wells says, it's not ignored that R. Kelly suffered traumatic situations from his childhood. However, it does not negate his behavior that involves sexual misconduct with girls. And I said that. I said one does not negate the other. I'm
And
not
I
trying to
feel like it
negate his
does
behavior.
because if all you saw, if what did say he was taking pictures of people having sex and everything, you don't know what they were saying to these women while they were having sex or what they were doing. I think a lot of his behavior might be taught behavior. I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm just going by what I think, and I'm just trying to help the man. That's all. Yeah. So if you grow up in an environment that all where you
There is nothing but sexual misconduct.
women are bitches and whores, they aren't thought about, and then you got to think back. That was the crack era, and so it was a whole lot of mess going on out here with women, where men was not respecting a lot of women. So, um, yeah, that was in his book,
Yes.
and that's what I say. You know, his normal does not compare to our normal.
And then you think about this because we know that he has some type of mental disability. And I think about this often. What if, because we're still trying to figure out how he got into a high school and could not read and write and Kenwood Academy at that. But what if his mental capacity is that of a 15 or 16-year-old? Now what? Now what?
Yeah, yeah,
What if his mental capacity is that of a 15 or a 16-year-old?
that's a good point. A great point.
These are things that need to be investigated and found out. What if he has the mental capacity of a 15 or 16-year-old?
Yeah,
I mean, how would you fault a 16-year-old for dating another 16-year-old?
yeah, yeah. Respect my opinion. Did you want to give your viewpoint on when we said we would discuss today what we wanted to see happen to Rob if we had our way? Because if I had my way, I would just let him get treatment. I would want him to come out, open up a school, teach music. Yeah, because there's got to be other kids like him out there that are music geniuses. That
Harriet Wells says that would require an intense evaluation. Well, you know what? The government is full of people that can do that. It's okay.
yeah, yeah,
They have all the resources in the world.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And I'm really disappointed that this was not his defense because he's been there over a year. You know, he could have been being evaluated. He could have been, getting, well, what little therapy they'd give him.
Well, COVID,
But
COVID
he's
19
been
happened.
there. COVID-19 has nothing to do. They still got doctors there. He at MCC. It's still
Oh,
doctors.
all right.
Yes. You know, he could have gotten an intense evaluation. He's been there over a year.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that because I do not want to see him in prison for life. I really don't. I do believe he needs to go to prison, and I do believe that he needs intense psychological help. I do believe that as well. But I don't think that him just getting, treatment is going to instill in him that what he did was a crime. I mean, if there's no consequences, why not do it again? Nah, nah. Respect My Opinion says she would like to see him on probation with strict conditions. Okay. I don't want to see him in jail for life. I do believe that he deserves a prison term. I do. What that term would be, I can't say. But I do believe that he needs to serve a prison term. I also believe that he needs intense psychiatric treatment. And um I'm hoping that at his hearing, I'm hoping that he will change his plea, you know, from not guilty to, not guilty by reason of mental defect, something that can help him because that straight not guilty, with all of the evidence that they have, whether they prove it or not, and I can't see how they can't prove it because they got it, but it looks really bad to the judge. Harriet Wells says the reason why he kept getting his bail motions denied because the defense failed to prove how he will not witness, intimidate, and obstruct justice. Well, that's part of it, but basically the reason that he kept getting bail denied is because in the law, under the charges that he has, he is a flight risk, and they can't overcome that. There's nothing that the defense can say to overcome any of those objections. And yeah, the obstruction of justice, it's a real big deal. It's a real big deal. But I'm hoping that, he'll change his plea. Respect My Opinion says, I think once his attorneys see the discovery, they have seen the discovery. Girl, they got the discovery. Well, you know what? Respect My Opinion. Here's the deal with the plea. You can't take what's not offered. The government has not offered him a plea deal. And in order for in order for him, there are some charges that you can't plead out. Okay, and that's what people don't understand. There are some charges that you cannot plead out. I don't think that, you can't offer him a plea deal on a charge that has a mandatory minimum sentence. So you think he has 30 plus charges, let's just say 30 charges under the RICO Act. They carry a mandatory minimum of 10 years. That's 300 years. You gonna cop out for 300 years? I don't think so. Like, what's the point? It's still life. I don't think Rob, respect my opinion, says, I don't think Rob has been fully honest and transparent with his attorneys. I don't believe that. I believe Rob has been completely honest and transparent with his attorneys. I think that his attorneys have not been honest and transparent with the public. Believe me, his attorneys know everything. And what they don't know, they've learned through discovery. They have, after receiving everything, I see the YouTubers keep thinking this is a state case. Okay, I can't. Harriet, Harriet,
Yeah.
I can't. So yeah, we're not even discussing the state case because I think it'll go away. I think the state case will go away. And the state case, and they focus, like I said, they focus on the wrong thing. Because even if every charge he has in the state case is probationable, so that case doesn't even matter. It really doesn't even matter. And more than likely, they'll drop the state case anyway. More than likely. In terms of him pleading, there has to be a deal to be offered. Now, the only way they can plead him, they would have to reduce his charges to something else, um, you know, and offer him a plea deal.
Well, um, no.
Oh no, Harriet, I understood what you were saying. I was
Yeah,
saying I
yeah.
cannot with those people.
Like I said, I'm not trying to be YouTube famous. I'm trying to come up with ways to help Robin. I'm going with he's a victim, and so um, you've got Rashonda Landfair that's going to testify against him and say it was her. Um, you know, it's you got all the ex-employees that are testifying against him. These are facts. Facts.
Exactly. You
Facts.
know, so when
These
you
are facts. Facts. These people are getting ready to tell everything they know about this man. Then they have tapes. And I've had to come to terms that I might see stuff I wish I never saw once it goes to trial.
I really hope, I really implore you
I don't
not to go to
I
trial
want
and
to think
see
of him
any of
as
that.
being a good person. I do not want to see
Excuse me.
some of this stuff that these people say that they have on him. Yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be, I'm hoping that the government will only use what they need.
Yeah. Well, Harriet, I'm not a fan. I am a friend. So I'm going to support him either way, way that it goes. I stick by my people. I have everything in my family. I have a past, so I'm not going to not like him any more less um, or anything. I just don't want to know. I don't want to see.
Yeah.
To my opinion, with New York, New York wants to stick it to him.
Um, my opinion, it's hard. It's hard because again, we're waiting for a pretrial conference. Um, Absent of that, until we find out what's going to go down in pretrial conference, I'm going to say, absent of pretrial conference, that New York got him. They got him. And they are vicious. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in pretrial conference. You know, say he shows up in pretrial conference, he's got somebody like Tom Mesereau, deal breaker, you know, because that man walks around with a magic wand, I promise you. He is just probably the most apt attorney I've ever seen in my life. He is really something to marvel in the legal business. He really is. But absent of Tom Mesereau, New York is yeah, they're going full speed ahead. Yes, Tom is the absolute. Tom is beyond the truth. He really is.
If you
I tell you, when he walks into a federal building, everybody's phone starts ringing because they're gonna let you know Mesereau's in the building, and everybody's pulling up cases, praying it's not one of theirs because no matter what you think you've got or what you have, Tom's gonna break that down. And you're going to have to give up something as a prosecutor. You're going to have to give up a charge. You're going to have to give up something. But he really is, um, the man is amazing. He really is. He is amazing. Harriet, we don't know that.
we don't know what
We don't know that.
yeah.
We don't know that. We really don't know that. His legal team is being reconstructed as we speak. We don't know who he's going to get. So again, pretrial conference is really going to be it's going to be what you're waiting on. It really is because it's going to tell the story. April?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen. They could be done got time. We don't know anything. But I know we need to change the narrative on him being a victim. Um, well, at least yeah. And so
Reset My Opinion said his legal team under reconstruction of Steve Greenberg is very quiet.
yeah,
Yeah, well, they've had enough mouths on his legal team.
yeah.
They need to shut up. Really. They need to just shut up.
Yeah.
You know, I've never seen such.
So when Azriel told them where all of those tapes and stuff was,
Mm, mm,
um,
mm.
now can they get those tapes thrown out the way they got them or what?
Well, they got them legally. They got them legally. They got them with a search warrant.
Uh,
They got them with a search warrant.
okay.
Harriet Wells says this trial is going to be something else. R. Kelly had his back against the wall on this one. Well, I've seen people with their backs against the wall come out swinging. It is a very tough case as it stands. It really is. And anyone who tells you that it isn't is just blowing smoke. Um, the New York case, it's devastating. It's devastating. But again, pre-trial conference, y'all.
When
I've
is
seen
the
amazing
pre-trial
things happen.
conference?
Pardon me?
When is the pre-trial conference? Because they're acting like Ann Donnelly wants this case to be over with real soon.
Well, we don't know yet. They haven't scheduled it yet. It has to be before the trial, maybe a couple of months, maybe, I don't know. Um, we don't know yet
Mm,
because that trial is scheduled for April.
yeah.
And with the virus being here, I mean the vaccine being here, and then injecting people with it. Yes, pre-trial conference will be a game changer. Absolutely, respect my opinion. Absolutely. It will definitely be a game changer one way or another. Because we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen there. We don't know. We may be sitting here talking about all this stuff, and his legal team could be on the same page and could have been on the same page long ago. They may walk in there and say, "Hey, you know, here's his ancestry report. He's a product of incest. Here's some professional people who are going to say this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Tom Maslow may show up and break down some of those charges. We don't know. But it definitely will be a game changer one way or the other. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Because anything can happen in pre-trial conference. Anything can happen. And I really hope, that it's the shakeup that it should be. I really do. But yeah, you have to, and I can't stress this enough to his supporters who want to help him. You have to change the narrative. You have to, because I've said this to April many times, and respect my opinion, said it today. It only takes one juror. It only takes one.
One. One juror. So everybody, we need one juror, and we got to start focusing on Rob being the victim and other things he might have going on. Um, all
You
that
know,
other stuff with them having the evidence with Rashonda, the videotapes and everything. Um,
if you are his, yeah, stop with those girls. Just leave them out of the equation. This is not even about them. If you are truly supporting Rob, support Rob. Leave the girls out of it. Leave all of that alone. What you need to do again is change opinions. Right now, you are his defense and you have to create the reasonable doubt. And that's all you need to do. Create some doubt away from these girls because it really does only take one juror to think outside the box and hang a jury. That's all it takes, just one. So someone somewhere will be listening, you know, and they'll do their research and they'll ponder their viewpoints and they'll ponder what they've heard from you guys. And trust me, they're not pondering this where's the parents and all the girls is hoes and lying. They're not pondering that. That is offensive. It is offensive to people. So you've closed them off with that. You need to open them up. And you're not going to do it by bashing the victims. So, you have to do that by giving them information about Rom that's going to make them see him in a light different than what they've been portraying him in the media.
Yeah, but they don't want to listen. Like I said, all of these people, I can't even half of these people.
I don't even believe that these people are out here to support him. I really believe that a lot of these people are out here, you know, just to be YouTube famous. I really do. This one knows that one knows this one. I hate you this week. We're friends next week. We're on opposite teams, but we can it's so ridiculous to me. Respect my opinion. I said that from the beginning too. But no one wanted to hear me because again, as April says, I'm an op. I'm an op. Do you think the rallying should cease? Yes. Unless they're gonna I think it should cease unless they're going to take a different narrative, which they're not gonna do. Because that narrative doesn't get them likes, it doesn't get them cash apps. But yeah, I think the rallying should cease unless, again, they change the narrative. They have to change the narrative because what they're doing, it's not helping. You know, it's not helping. They want to argue with people, you know, they want to tell people he's innocent and it can happen to you. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. So, again, they need to create doubt. They need to create questions in people's minds. And they're not going to do that bashing victims and asking about parents. When they do rallies, all you see on Twitter is, I can't believe these people are in my town supporting a pedophile. Everybody thinks he is a serial pedophile. You don't hear anything about their mission, or their cause, all you hear are negative things. I would like to once see them do a rally and see one comment on Twitter that questions something that they've heard from the rally, other than why are these people in my town supporting a pedophile? So, if the narrative is going to be the same, if the rallies are just an excuse to get together and party, and have sex, with people from out of town and people that you don't know, then yeah, cut that shit out. Cut it out. But if the rally is really going to be about them trying to help Robert and them changing the narrative and getting information out about his childhood, and his trauma, then go for it. But if not, save your little coins and stay at home. April, what are you doing, dear?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Um, hold on. I'm still here. Nope, not at all.
YouTube famous. Yeah. There's been rallies, documentaries, and radio appearances. Nothing has been done. Harriet, I want to ask you a question. What is it that you want to be done? Everything has been counterproductive. Yes. And that's what I'm saying. None of it has been positive, none of it has been productive. And if they're going to continue rallying, they need to change that. They need to change the narrative and do something that's going to be productive. And the only thing that I see that they can do is to get information out about Robert that makes people view him other than this serial pedophile. You have to make people think about something else other than what they've seen, on Lifetime or in the media. All these supporters have done was scam people for money, beg people for money, and fight each other.
Well,
Again,
that's a lie.
Harriet,
Don't put me in a category because I'm a supporter and a friend of his. I haven't scammed anybody for money. I don't beg anybody. I've paid my way to do everything I've done for him. So don't say all these supporters. I bought posters. I mean, don't put all his supporters in that category, because there are some supporters that are truly fighting for him that we don't even know about. That's making sure he gets money on his books every month. People that are trying to help him get lawyers and stuff. So uh, don't say all. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
sorry for the
and
all.
and
And
and and, and a lot
I
of the
understood. You
supporters,
mean
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
the
the people.
supporters, you really think they're getting a lot of money and they're really not. So don't believe that hype neither. Yeah, yeah,
Well, some of them are getting quite a bit of money off of
yeah.
talking
Some of
about
them.
Robert.
Yeah,
Some of them are. Some of these bloggers are getting quite a bit of
Yeah,
money. Some of them are paying their rent and light bill. Yes,
yeah.
I send on. Yes, honey, send
But
donations directly
like
to
I
Robert
said,
Kelly.
I'm not
Yes,
mad about that because a lot of people are on YouTube. You know, they become YouTube famous. If that's what they want to do, that's on them. I'm trying to figure out ways to help him. I don't need to be YouTube famous. I've been the star all my life.
come on.
So, you know,
I'm dead.
yeah.
Woo, I'm
So,
dead on that one.
yeah. I mean, I don't even just being involved in this case. Yeah.
The point I'm
Well,
making is that
well,
the rallies
Miss
had
Harriet,
nothing but drama.
first of all, a lot of people are not going to come out and defend him because of the backlash. That's why. Did you come to any of the rallies, Miss Harriet? Because I went to rallies. You know, the rally was for R. Kelly. It's not about who's giving them and stuff. And what people do after their time is nobody's business neither. Did you ever participate in a rally? Because you could have gotten your own sign and you could have wrote whatever you wanted the public to know about him because they were taking pictures.
Reset My Opinion says, I
Yeah,
know several celebrities that send him donations monthly as well. Yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he has the help and support. You know, a lot of people, um, you know, people are working. We're in pandemics. Um, um, a lot of people, uh, you know, you got people that have fallen out over this case. People that
exactly.
speaking to each other. If you support him, you know, well, what I feel like the world does know that people that Rob does have supporters, and that people have not thrown their back on him. So yeah, yeah. Everybody's not trying to be. Everybody don't have to be on the front line. You know,
Exactly, because this
you
is
you get
really
you know people threaten you. You got Me Too. You got people threatening you. You got people want to question you. You got people that some people, if you support Rob, they don't. They think that you approve of his behavior. I mean, you know, everybody. You know, everybody doesn't have to be vocal to show their support, or as respect
exactly.
my opinion, said not on the front lines. If I had a job, I don't know. I know I would not be discussing him on a job with anybody.
Exactly. And they're canceling people left and right.
They
You
cancel
have
people left and right.
celebrities. I mean, seriously, I'm sorry. I'm not giving up my paycheck for nobody. You want these celebrities to come out and say, yes, I support Robert Kelly
The
so they can
rally
cancel
showed
them
that
and
R.
kill their
Kelly has
career?
supporters. What people did after the rallies was their business. But the rallies showed the world that people do care about R. Kelly, regardless of what they were saying. They might have thought they were crazy, but at least it shows that some people care about him and everybody has not thrown him away. That gives him a little bit of hope.
Miss Darlene, I hear what you're saying. What was changed in his case? I saw backlash on Shade Room and many public figures about the protest.
Honey, this
Well,
this is a world you're gonna get backlash on anything. You got backlash on the president election. You got backlash on Kamala Harris talking about she was black. It's backlash on anything that you're doing. So people chose whatever you choose to do. I choose to defend him and I choose to help him. And I don't care what shade room or any public figures say. I go to the protest. I'm not focused on them. I'm focused on helping Rob. And what people do after the protest is their business. They're all grown. If you did not pay for anybody to go to New York or Chicago, what they do after a protest is their business.
I don't think that the protest, Harriet. Harriet says, I hear what you're saying, Miss Darlene, but what has changed in his case? I don't think that the protests were to change anything in his case. I mean,
Harriet, it's not becoming tense. It's just me. I can block people out. So I had my little signs made up that I wanted the world to see, that they took pictures of. R. Kelly music matters. So I'm in this fight for chaos. I don't care about who's giving the protest or what they're saying. I go and I do my part. Like a sign that says his music does, R. Kelly music matters. His music does. Yeah. I'm not here to fight neither. I might have raised my voice, but to say that all protesters, and
she apologized for
yeah,
that. She
so
apologized for
we're
that.
fine. We're fine, but everybody, I'm not here to fight neither. I'm just here to say that as people that are defending Rob, that we need to change his narrative, that he was a victim, and with all of the evidence and things, we just got to come up with some other strategies because we've got to reach just one juror. One juror can hang the whole case. We got to get some reasonable doubt out there. And so, people go to the MCC building every day protesting. Anybody can go to the MCC building and carry a sign. And you don't have to do it in the large groups that could bring attention. You can make one sign. You can put it on Instagram, let everybody share the sign. It's a whole lot of ways that we can do to show our support for Rob. That's all. Yeah.
Harriet, I don't think that the protests were developed to change something in his case. I mean, the only people that can do that is the defense, the prosecutor, and the judge. I think they did the rally.
Okay. Miss
Doing a
Harriet
rally.
Wells, I'm going to
Hang on,
ask you this.
hang on.
First of all, you said you were not at a rally. Okay, because there was handouts given. So I would please, I'm going to please ask you, do not talk about the rallies. You said you did not attend, so you don't know what was handed out. We did hand out literature. So please do not speak on the rallies. Now I'm being nice. Because if you're coming in here to bash the rallies, then I don't need you here. You was not there. You don't know what was handed out. I'm going to ask you to leave or stop talking about the rallies, the partying, or the beefing. What people do on their own time is their business. We're not here for that. People can get together and meet up with each other however they want to with their money that they spend. Now, I would like for you to go make some signs and put them in some groups saying you support R. Kelly. R. Kelly is the victim. Thank you very much. Yeah, don't come in here with that stuff, bringing that stuff about the rallies in here. I've attended every rally, and I thought they were nice rallies. I thought we got attention to people. I think R. Kelly is happy because he knows the world has not turned its back on him. So, if you got anything other to say, you can please leave because I'm not. You're not bringing that mess over here. You said you was not at a rally. Information was handed out at rallies. So please excuse yourself. I don't have time to play. I'm trying to fight for a man's life. Lady Alicia, would you like to comment on that?
I wasn't at the rallies. I just feel like, I don't understand any of it. I don't understand why people, want to come here and bring up that. When was the last time there was a rally? In October, September?
We
When was the
went
last rally?
New York, New York, and it
And that
was
was
very
when?
nice. I mean, we had flyers because I handed them out. We marched from to dark. Some people were very understanding. Like we had. I know I had people to tell me, why mute his music if they're not muting Elvis music? You know, um, you had people looking at this like it was injustice. Yeah.
I thought both the hosts would at least like to hear suggestions. I was not at the rally. I only saw videos of the rally. Listen, I wasn't at the rallies. I don't support them.
Okay,
So
Harriet.
you
You can give
know,
me some suggestions for the next rally. Give me some suggestions. Type them in there. Give
I,
me
you know, I,
suggestions.
I've given suggestions. I don't know what else to
But
do.
don't come in here talking about partying and beefing. That has nothing to do with the rally. What people do after a rally is their business. That's where everybody's got this twisted. You come to a rally, whatever you do on your own time is your business. So give me suggestions. Give suggestions for the rallies. Everybody,
Why?
please put in the
Why?
comments.
I want to ask Harriet, if you thought that suggestions would be welcome, why didn't you lead with that? You could have led with that.
No, you come in with partying and beefing. You came in, yeah.
It's a big misunderstanding what my comment was about. Okay.
All right,
Okay,
she's
we'll accept that.
coming.
We'll accept that.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine.
Yes. Let's start off with some suggestions. That'd be great for April. Because Lady Alicia don't do rallies.
I do.
Our mayor's on TV. Her security detail is so sharp. They need to hook her up.
Who?
The mo-
Lightfoot. Yeah.
who? Girl, her security detail are all women, gay women, of course. Those are some sharp women. They should hook their boss up because she just looked like a little frump all the time. Who cursing and name calling? Harry Walsh is supposed to come and says not an argument, but make their statements clear without cursing and name calling. Oh, I think she's talking
Yeah.
about the rallies.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Rallies.
got
Yeah.
it.
She's
Okay,
talking.
okay, got it, got it, got it.
And these are things that people have said.
Yeah. As many times R. Kelly has mentioned Chicago in his songs or interviews, there should be people going to Chicago neighborhoods.
Baby, let me tell you, we go to them Chicago neighborhoods. Let me tell you, baby, ain't too many people trying to say they know Rob right now, because you know what they do? They intimidate them. They intimidate them and act like they know something to tell them. They get harassed. That's why everybody is not on the front line.
I misunderstood the statement, Harriet.
Yeah.
I now understand that you were talking about the rallies. Well, I didn't misunderstand it. I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
understand
we
it.
got it, Harriet. And I really appreciate what you were saying. Because there was some curse statements, and we really appreciate that. But I get so sick of people also saying too what Chicago ain't doing and what Chicago. Them feds went and did a clean sweep of Chicago 3 years ago when they were coming up with everything. Okay, so ain't too many people getting ready to say they know him because the feds will investigate them, harass them, or get what they want from them. Okay, Harriet, I can't go any further with you.
I'll ask the question, Harriet. Um,
Yeah, I can't go any further with her.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
I'll go.
because
I'll
them
go.
feds came in and they did a clean sweep of Chicago. That's how they found out. They went knocking on everybody's doors. They knew who house he hung out from the projects to the north side. Okay.
They're being harassed
Oh
because
my God,
um,
I did the wrong lady.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
shit. Hold on.
They're being harassed, Harriet,
No, I
because
wanted it to be you.
you
Shit.
wanted you wanted what to be me.
Wait a minute. Oh,
What happened? I'm gonna answer Harriet's question. They're being harassed because a lot of people are non-supporters. Therefore, they harass people who are supporters or people who they believe to be supporters. And this isn't just harassment, you know,
damn it.
from other people. I don't know if you noticed, but this is Chicago. We are the most politically corrupt city in the country.
Oh my God.
So, they're harassed by much more than his supporters.
How do I unblock a guest?
I don't know. How did you block them? Go back to their name where you blocked them, and you should be able to unblock them.
It's not letting me do that. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay. Um. So that's why. Look, the state's attorney's office. I would say, really wants Robert
Yes, you did.
convicted
You did
really
come here for
badly.
a fight. Stop saying that. Really.
You're on video.
I don't care. I done got
Okay.
really pissed right now. You did come in here to start a fight.
Okay, I think April just probably cut herself off. But yeah, Harriet, they're being harassed because there are people who do not support Robert, who harass those who do support him or those who they, believe support him. So I think April probably disconnected herself. But, I just wanted to say that, again, if people really want to help Rob, they need to change the narrative.
I've got
April, you're back. Great.
keep. Hey, Lady of Leisure, keep talking.
Okay, I was.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
yeah, his supporters, they just really need to change the narrative. I don't understand all the YouTube beefing. I don't even understand, why it even exists. There is
And
no
that's what
purpose.
she came in here wanting to start asking about that, saying she did not want to start a fight. But you come in, you talking about the supporters. You come in talking about the rallies. You come in. Yes, that was your mission. I don't know why people think I didn't live to get this old to be this stupid.
I think April's a bit peeved.
Yeah, and then she constantly talking about you. I didn't come in to start a fight. Well, everything you've done ain't never been to a rally, but you talking about what they not doing.
Okay. Again, I'm going back to changing the narrative. I mean, if you want to help him change the darn narrative, all this other craziness that's been going on for the past 2 years, it's just that. It's crazy. You know, people beefing with each other. Everybody's got to be on the same page. You can't, you know, you can't be a supporter and believe that he's not 100% innocent. You know, you can't be a non-supporter and not want to see him spend the rest of his life in prison. Like, who died and left you people the judge of any of this? You know, how does one group get to tell an entirely different group of people how the hell they should think, feel, and view things? Like, where is the handbook on that? Nobody sent it to me. I just think people are out here to be recognized, you know, to be included in something. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all need a safe place because I haven't seen much of anything in terms of real support, for Robert. I really haven't. And as vocal as many of them are, you can get across all that mess. Why can't you get a valid point across? You know, if somebody has a problem with somebody in a chat, you spread it a million times in a minute. But you can't figure out how to get information to a potential juror that could possibly sway their opinion. Like maybe, you need to redirect your focus. April, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's crazy that people, and this is exactly what she wanted to come in here and do, which we are not talking about this. We are trying to change the narrative. I don't give a flip what none of those bloggers are doing, what any of them doing, because to me, none of them are helping him. I don't care
Exactly.
what they're doing. Everybody has a free will to support whoever they want to support. And what they do with their time and money is their business. And if you find something better that you can do, you come to a rally and you bring your sign.
You know, I
I
I
don't
I
care
think
about
that,
who's beefing with who.
I think that people who have criticism without suggestions are just trying to make trouble. Because if you're
I don't even know how I can even. I'm in my YouTube channel and I'm trying to figure out. Mm,
well, you can figure it out after the show, and
yeah,
and then yeah,
and
figure it out
I
after
would
the show.
appreciate it. I don't want any bloggers coming in talking about what people do at rallies, who beefing with who. That's not what we about over here. Or what literature they handed out and you were not there. So I don't I don't need that. That's not what we're about. I'm trying to get a different narrative put out about Rob. So
And I really think that's the best course of action if they're really trying to help him. For anyone who is truly trying to help Robert Sylvester Kelly, change the narrative. It's simple. You know, if you talked about his abuse, if you talked about his own victimization, if you talked about, him being a product of incest, as much as you talked about those girls, you probably could have changed six jurors' minds by now.
people in sharing.
You really have to change the narrative. And you know, if you don't know how to do that, or if you're unwilling to do that, I really don't know how you honestly call yourself supporters, because he really is in a fight for his freedom for the rest of his life. And he's not, he's got more years behind him than he does ahead of him. So, even 20 years is essentially a life sentence for him. He's 53 years old. Nothing is impossible. You don't know who's listening. You don't know, who'll pick up on something. You don't know who's inquisitive. You just don't know. So, you have to change the narrative and put other information out that people might be interested in finding out about.
Wow. Hmm.
I
Yeah, this is not a platform to come over here and talk about beefs or what other people are doing. This is a platform to try to talk about ways to help Robert Sylvester Kelly. So,
well, you knew we had to get at least one.
yeah,
You knew there had to be at least one. And I don't understand. I don't have time in my day for foolishness. I'm not wasting my the little typing skills I have, my breath, none of that.
yeah. We are trying to come up with ways to help Robert, not with what they do, not with what people are doing and what they're handing out to somebody that's never been to a rally. So, um, and if you want to do it better, get your own. I'll be there.
Is there another comment other than Harriet's?
No, I don't. No. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it is close to the bewitching hour.
Yes, it is close to time to watch General Hospital. Everybody, if I can get, I can get Harriet. I am not angry. I'm just telling you. You keep saying I'm angry. You keep saying this. You keep saying you did not come here to cause trouble, but yet you steady in here talking the same bullshit.
Okay.
Bye. Talk to y'all later.